Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, do we got a show for you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, happy to be alive on a Saturday night, the best day of the week. Let's get some ones in the chat across the board, baby. Hoping everyone's happy, healthy, wise, and ready for a Comeback City World of Warcraft weekly show. Arothian, thank you for the prime. I appreciate the love, baby. Lance, holy shit. This last week has been insane for World of Warcraft across the board. By the way, including Classic. We'll get into that in a minute. Believe it or not, I know a lot of Classic Andys are dooming and glooming, but we all know what's coming and we all know what's happening soon. But Lance, retail WoW is off to an insane start in 2026. How are we feeling?
That's all I got. I mean,
yeah, just a big deep breath, huh?
I mean, you gotta buckle in. That's
in.
the deep breath, buckle in, and get ready for the ride.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's only gonna pick up steam, guys. How is everyone doing? Hoping everyone's having a good time. A lot of things have been going on. We know we had that awesome little state of Azeroth. I know a lot of people may be disappointed and they may be dooming and glooming, but all jokes aside, of course there is always negativity with everything. It's bound to happen, but you gotta know sometimes to stay away from the mass majority of people in terms of people who aren't even actively playing the game right now. People are going to doom whether they're playing World of Warcraft or not because it is a fad and it's trendy to shit on games right now in general and specifically World of Warcraft. It's always been trendy to try to shit on WoW. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you got to surround yourself with people who are positive about the community, about the game, and are excited about things to come because believe it or not, there are a lot of things coming that are amazing, amazing things to be excited for. Lance, what was your, I guess, favorite thing about that whole State of Azeroth reveal? I know you had a couple, but in particular for you as a solo player, what are we thinking?
Well, as a good friend in the guild has just said in the chat, the labyrinths are probably the thing that most excited me about, the State of Azeroth, but I'm going to be very honest, the one boss raids in between the seasons, that's pretty exciting.
Well, guys, you got to think about it like this. I feel like for the last couple years, Blizzard's doing this thing where they're definitely actively understanding what makes people love. Like, they're figuring out what makes people love things like Classic WoW or TBC or even Wrath. And they're trying to almost mimic those things into a modern day version of WoW. That's why we're getting so much further away from systems that are one and dones. For example, Legion artifacts, Heart of Azeroth, things that will give you temporary power and then they're stripped away forever. And they're heading toward longer, more evergreen systems. For example, War Within, brand new delves, all new, amazing, phenomenal endgame system. Faint Twin, thank you for the sub. I appreciate the love, baby. Thank you so much. Arothian, thank you for the prime as well. Heading toward Delves in the War Within. Previously in Dragonflight, a complete overhaul of the talent tree, which has now made it so much better to extend endgame and add on 2 classes now again. Yeah. So now, heading into the expansion, we now have a system with Prey, and we're adding on to the worst iteration of Delves that it ever was in the War Within, heading into Midnight, and getting a brand new mode for them called Labyrinths. You want to talk a little bit about Labyrinths, Lance? What's going on with that?
Well, what they kind of, and we didn't get a lot of info on it, right? But what they said it was, is it's inspired by mega dungeons, giant sprawling delves that might take a long time, and you don't even have to complete them all at once. And maybe this is me kind of looking into it too much.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like, it's like a solo raid.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a big deal,
right?
Mo Tizzle, thank you so much for the prime. I appreciate it. By the way, guys, if you want to show some love, we're about to hit a hype train of level 2. Absolutely free. You can throw out some primes over on Twitch. Check it out. Continue, Lance. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and Canadian, what he's saying is in the War Within, Delves were the worst they're ever going to be. With that being said, for a lot of people, Delves were the sole reason that they stayed playing the War Within. And I know for high-end players, I know Delves are like throwaway content for you guys. Maybe you do them the first week or 2 of a season and then you're done with them. But for a lot of people, it is their main content. Or it's how they keep up and they're able to raid.
Why don't you ask the viewers? Ask them.
Okay, let's ask him. Guys, how many of you is Delves your main form of content?
Or at least a content that kept you playing the War Within longer than you normally would a retail expansion. I'm going to put my hand up right now.
Pull that shit.
Shit, you're right. You're probably right. I should make a poll, but that shit bugs out every time I do it. But I'll tell you what, Lance.
Yeah.
For me in retail WoW, I was typically a guy who plays 2-3 months, check out the 0.5, bounce. See you later.
Okay.
I'll see you later. I'll play next expansion.
Got it.
Delves, for me, made it so easy to not only gear up alternate characters, but in such a stress-free way. And listen to me very carefully, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on this because this is very important. When I'm playing a video game, I want to have the least amount of hard stress as possible. Anything overly stressful, it completely takes away the purpose of me playing a video game. I play a game to wind down. Of course, I'm a content creator. I gotta do my job. I gotta do my thing, of course. But just like all of you, I love video games too, man, okay? And I want to wind down when I play them. Delves has a way for me to gear up casually, solo. I enjoy my character. I explore a delve. I get some professions going in there. I level up with brand. There's a story. And I do my thing and I vibe out. And it's a stress-free, mostly, environment to just play the video game and gear up. Okay. Previously, Lance, in Dragonflight, what are you doing to gear up at endgame? What are you doing? Other than delves, I can't even think of a World of Warcraft without delves anymore. What are you going to do at the endgame of Dragonflight? Go ahead.
Yeah, they had some things. Like, you could still craft some, I think, up to, like, hero pieces, man. I don't really remember. But, no, I mean, nothing like delves. Definitely not.
But what are you doing in the endgame in Dragonflight? I'm asking you a question, man.
I didn't play a lot of Dragonflight, so I don't know.
Okay, I'll answer the freaking... I'm trying to give you, like, little underhand pitches to help me out here. You're just staring at the chat like a freaking little girl.
I don't know Dragonflight's game enough from solo player to be able to
I'll dive into it.
So I don't
know.
You're
either going to be running Mythic Plus,
or you're going to be raiding. As a solo player.
No, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, well, then you're not doing either of those. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know what you did as a solo player.
So my point is, Lance, instead of trying to dissect what I'm saying to a T, what do you do in the endgame as a player in World of Warcraft normally?
Yeah, then the same thing forever. Mythic Plus and raids.
Mythic Plus and raids.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that shit not only takes time to get into, because you got to get accepted into a group, it's stressful, and then it's always going to be super stressful because everyone's got the pressure of like, okay, I got to stay in this group. I either A, have to perform, or I have to make my own group, or be a jackass and kick people out and be very specific on who I invite. It's a very difficult time-consuming situation. He means solo as in no friends. Yeah, sure. Bullshiffer. Schiffer.
Yeah, I guess if you're talking about like if you had to pug, sure. I thought you just meant like as a solo player.
I just mean that
was like World Quest, and I guess that's what I don't know. I didn't play Dragonflight enough to know.
Waker.
Is that where the buck stops?
Yo, guys, tell me what movie this is. Ready? Hey, Waker, wake up. Waker. If you guys know that movie.
Breakfast Club.
No, you're what the fuck, Lance?
It's Breakfast Club. Don't
Dude.
fuck with me, bro. I know my Breakfast Club. Come on.
All right.
And not the Charlemagne the God one. Okay? Stop. Yeah, I mean, I guess professions were a thing in Dragonflight. Like, the new profession system was there. And
yeah, I will say, yeah, I guess you're right, the new profession system. Even though I think, guys, you mess with the bull, he goes like this. Like that. Anyways, I want to ask you guys, even though the profession system did like drastically improve, because technically it was an improvement, it's still not there yet. And we all agree the profession system, while technically improved, still needs drastic work, even heading into midnight when they did update some things. Can we all agree on that? Lance, what are your take on professions?
System? Oh, professions.
No, I'm talking about profession. We'll talk about gearing in a minute.
Oh, no, professions still needs help.
Yeah.
You still have... And I'm not sure about gathering. Does gathering still... Is it still different tiers of items?
Yeah. You still have tier 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's not good. That's got to stop.
Well, no, it's still tier 1 through 3, and then the crafting, I believe, is now 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's still too much.
I believe. I'm going to do a profession guide, so I have to dive into there over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to have to get into that. Jeez, excuse me. But yes, that'll be cool. Midnight professions feel like an uninspired copy-paste. Yeah, that would suck. And I would say one of my things on my bingo card that I wanted to check off greatly heading into midnight was a drastically improved profession system. I think we all hate the idea of when you head into a new season of World of Warcraft for retail, guys.
Oh my god, yeah. I know where you're
you
going.
You rush to get your gilded crest, and then you craft your weapon, and then your weapon is locked in set for the entirety of the season. That is one of the worst feelings in World of Warcraft. It is the worst shit ever. Yeah. There's no chase or dopamine to say, hey, I'm farming my weapon in Heroic Raid or Mythic Group or whatever the case may be. It is tough. Amazonian, shout out to you. I love you on Saturday too, baby.
No, the fact that
you know what I mean.
Hero, like weapons from the Heroic Raid mean almost nothing.
Yeah.
And like they're almost purely a transmog thing is a shame.
Yeah, it's too strong.
That's a shame. The fact that you could get a myth track, pretty much a myth weapon within what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
That's it's like I almost feel scammed. It's
it's not cool.
I almost feel bad taking a heroic like a weapon from the hero raid. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna...
No, it's to the point where, let's be honest, unless you have a weapon like the Shard Chris Glass or whatever it is from Mana Forge Omega, where it has an amazing on-hit effect paired with a trinket or something to where it's very powerful, you're never gonna take a heroic or champion weapon because you're just simply gonna have it crafted and you're done. So, the Void Glass, yeah, that's what it was, the Void Glass, Jesus. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. So that's another thing as well. But guys, a lot has been going on the last week. I want to ask your guys' opinion, and do not be biased. Be completely honest, Canadian. Shout out to you with the Prime, by the way. Thank you. Legion Legendaries were fucking go-to because I got my BIS.
Well,
I didn't mind, by the way,
listen,
Legion Legendaries, personally.
If you get your BIS, yeah, you loved it. It's when you didn't get your BIS and you never got it. That's when
that was a nightmare. Anyways, I want to ask your guys' opinion. And do not be biased. We have 140, 50 people in this chat total across Twitch and YouTube. Here we go. Would it be better? Actually, not would it be better. That's not how you would frame it. Blizzard on how they just delivered the state of Azeroth. Do you think it painted World of Warcraft in a good light heading into the future or not? Now, I also want to ask you a follow-up question before you quickly answer in your own head, and you too, Lance, because this is for you to answer. A lot of people seem to be negative about certain things going on in World of Warcraft right now across the space, whether it be classic content creators or whether it be classic players in general, and also even some retail players. I want to know, as someone who plays a few hours a week, who's genuinely enjoying World of Warcraft right now, and goes for you too, guys, I want you to talk to me. How are you feeling after the state of Azeroth? And be honest, do not bullshit, don't mess me up. I want you to be real. Give me the truth because I want to hear a community consensus. I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours and talk about it. It's important.
I'll say this. I think a lot of people, for some strange reason, went into that state of Azeroth thinking it was going to be something that it was never going to be. And I don't know if they read the same post I read wrong or what, but when I read the post, it pretty clearly said they're going to talk about the next year in Azeroth. They're going to show roadmaps, and that was that. They didn't say they were going to make huge announcements or anything like that. So I don't...
Lots of responses. We're going to get to in a second, guys.
I know, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but I know some people were getting pissed because, Classic Plus wasn't announced.
Okay.
That was definitely never on the table.
Okay.
To be announced now. And we have a BlizzCon coming up in 8 months now. Classic Plus is going to be a monumental announcement. You think they're going to announce it on some random Thursday?
It's definitely something they've been planning and diving into and waiting and being patient to not only get resources, data, and understanding from the classic player base to announce at BlizzCon, for sure.
Yeah, it was not going to happen on a random Thursday that they give 2 days notice on.
Now, let's get into some of these responses about the state of Azeroth, because I want to know what you guys are saying. Dad Gamer here, Infalk said, Dad Gamer here with 4 kids. They talked about housing too much. I need to know where my time investment is going. We'll get into that in a second. 100% good light. Makes me excited to see what's coming for Classic and what is in the future for retail. Man, don't trust them to pull it off. It's okay. If I disconnect after flying into a tree one more... Okay. Housing is cheeks. I don't want to play a housing build simulator. Please redirect resources. Okay. Miss Weaver got kicked. Okay. People thought the state of Azeroth was going to be BlizzCon. By the way, before we continue, for some reason, there are some content creators that I almost got into an argument with because they were under the impression that this was going to be a mini BlizzCon, and I quote, I have the quote, I will not show who it is, but it is a very, very well-known Classic creator. He gets thousands of viewers in his live stream every time he goes live. So he thought, as a Classic player, that it was going to be a mini BlizzCon, and that something as big as SOD 2 or Classic Plus should have been announced, and they feel abandoned. Anyways, let's continue. Totally agree. Thank you for the housing stuff. Blizzard. Holy shit, there's a lot of responses. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. They practically did announce it with the teaser. They did, and they're still upset. Not super great. The class selection feels boring. I love it. Okay, you're talking about classes. Okay, I'm excited. I think they know the player base has aged with less time to play, and they are making content that meets power and casual gamers. Plus, younger players play more than one game. So I agree, Trill. I don't understand the fascination with housing. Okay, now my turn. Let me get into this. Now, we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, they have been working on housing, and this isn't me just playing the defense pill because I have a couple things I want to say negatively towards Blizzard as well. Listen very carefully. We do have to understand, they have been working and developing housing since right around when Shadowlands was launched, which was how many years ago? 5? 4?
Yeah,
5?
About 5 years ago now.
About 5 years ago. That is a long fucking time to invest resource time and development into something that has, to be honest, done wonders for World of Warcraft, okay? So now, housing just released a couple months ago in the pre-patch. Not even. It was December, right?
Yeah, December.
Sometime in December.
December 2nd, I believe?
Yes, sometime in December. So it's been a little over a month. It's their biggest brand new feature in 2, 3, 4 years. So with that being said, it's a hot topic in Blizzard right now, in the community in general. So we have to understand, when you're playing an MMORPG, not everything is raw content. Not everything is raw gameplay. It's not a shooter. It's not a MOBA. It's a wide variety of things. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say this. A lot of people, including Classic players, like to shit on retail, and they say retail is, a Mythic Plus simulator where it's a simulation game or it's a lobby game, right? Where it's a lobby simulator. Okay, well, then they also say that there's no more war in Warcraft. Here's the thing. Housing, not only does it address the fact that this game is not just a lobby simulator,
of course,
it also addresses the fact that, it's a world first, right? Before it's Warcraft, it's World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot to bring back the MMORPG vibes of the game. You're putting in community, you're putting in houses, and you're bringing people back together.
Can I add one more thing on that?
Yeah.
When you're talking about world, most of their 0.5 or 0.7 patches, in terms of content update, guys, we have to remember, this is bits of content that pushes you out into a world. They're open world events first. Think about it. Go down the list of the War Within 0.5 and 0.7 patches. The only one that wasn't was the Horrific Visions, which was an instance.
Yep.
And by the way, still with that, there was updates outside of the world. Uridan, thank you for the sub with the Prime. Thank you. I appreciate the love, man. Really appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you. On the left. So, they're also doing a lot of things in retail. Wow, thank you. And this is what I'm talking about. They're trying to find the best of worlds with Classic and also integrate it into retail as well and do it better.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been that good in retail for a good minute. No. But the War Within and Dragonflight is a stepping stone into leading to something good. Not only that, guys, we have to remember, if we're getting 0.5 and 0.7 content updates with inside the world, go out and explore MMO aspects, we're also getting a new endgame system with Prey, right? Yep. You also have less stressful group content if you want, with Delves and Labyrinth if you want to go into group content.
Yeah.
So you have multiple ways they're trying to do the MMO aspect still 20 years in, but give us what we want and what players in Classic want to try to better the community and the overall, I guess, sentiment of the game, if that makes sense.
Yes, Keepers, scroll up real quick. Keepers, if you want to ask a question, definitely get it answered. Either try to continue asking, because we do have a lot of things going on at once. And I don't want to be a greedy bastard, but
99
you do a
cents.
99
it sounds
cent super
horrible.
chat, it will definitely get it read.
It sounds
and I don't want to be a greedy dick, but that's the truth.
Like there's no doubt. It's gonna sound horrible. The cheapest you can go, I think, is 99 cents. But make sure it's a very important question to you. I'm not trying to be greedy, though.
Come back. Did you realize that the housing is a no-joke copy and paste of what Star Wars Galaxies and what WildStar did? No joke, it's the same. And because those games are so much older, no, people notice. And to say that it's
copy paste is
a lot more games than just those two did housing.
I appreciate it.
By the way, I just want to make it clear, a lot more people than just Galaxies and what's the other one he said?
WildStar.
And WildStar did housing, and while both of those games housing was good,
still not as good.
A lot more games did housing, so let's not act like because they did housing, they're copying.
But guys, is this a big surprise that we're hearing Blizzard took an idea and made it easier to dive into and better? Lance, is this something that's been brand new, or are they just doing this now?
Also, yeah,
we have to remember, guys,
Blizzard's calling card since 2000.
The Blizzard formula is look around you, see what's working overall, say, hey, I'm gonna take that idea, put it in my game, and do it way fucking better than you ever could.
Yeah.
That's the Blizzard motto. And now, whether you think that's a good or bad thing, that's a personal preference. Me, personally, that's how winners win. Winners will always try to study and learn at what's winning right now, what's causing good player sentiment, what's positive. Say, okay, let's see if we can do it. Instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to try to reinvent the wheel every time. When you try to reinvent the wheel too much, you take too many risks and you fail. It happens very, very rarely. When you reinvent the wheel, it doesn't pan out. Shout out to you, T-Potion, for the 5. I got you right now. I wish there was more of a reason to visit our neighborhoods. Do you think they could do anything to achieve this with becoming Garrison 2.0s?
Without it becoming Garrisons 2.0.
Without it, sorry.
I would say the best bet is actually the way they're doing with Endeavors is pretty good, right? And you're getting people to go in there and do like little things in the neighborhood, but also get people out in the world to do other things. Yep. And then you essentially then get to buy things with your coupons.
That's pretty cool.
And you don't, because if you go the way of any sort of player power, it's a dangerous game. You don't want to do anything like that. Endeavors is, and I'm sure they're going to continue to evolve and develop this Endeavor system.
Let's say this very clearly before he continues. This is the worst iteration of housing we will ever get in World of Warcraft history. Know that it's going to be expanded upon with nuclear updates. That's going to shock us all. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and they're going to keep like updating it, but I do think Endeavors are a good way of doing it. Also,
he also follows up T-Potion with the question, would a farm like Mr. Pandaria take things a bit too far?
I don't know if that would take things too far. I think that would be okay, I would say. You could also just put different mini games in there. Like maybe you could start putting like Darkmoon Fair type situations in the neighborhood on like a monthly rotating basis, included with the Endeavors. So maybe they make one or two little mini games to do as a neighborhood with the Endeavor. But we also haven't even got to see like what role-playing guilds and communities are going to be able to do with
I don't remember WildStar having things like Endeavors. I don't remember that being a thing. Was that a thing in WildStar?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Can anyone who played WildStar, especially Star Wars Galaxy, I don't know shit about that game, even though I know it's one of the best ever. In Star Wars Galaxies, did they have anything like Endeavors or these community events that can happen? Like, was that a thing? Can anyone let me know? This is gonna sound ridiculous. I'm a bit young to enjoy WildStar for the time, and definitely too young for Galaxies. I only enjoyed Star Wars: The Old Republic. So can anyone let me know? From that though, guys, let me go through a couple more of these statements because there was a couple good ones. I love housing and have paid for 4 months making Decker. That's love crazy. Remember, Warcraft is straight up a Warhammer / Guild Wars ripoff. You're right. And Guild Wars ripped it from Lord of the Rings Online. Yeah, I don't even know the last one. Elric. Wait, I don't know that last one. What's that one?
I mean, but like, yeah, if we're gonna talk about what fantasy ripped anything off from fantasy, then every fantasy ripped off from Tolkien.
What about EverQuest too?
Well, yeah, but like they're all a ripoff of Tolkien. Then. If we're gonna go that far, right?
There was a question asking us what we would like heading. This one, Amazonian right here. He says, I have a big question for you guys. What would you love to see in Midnight, new feature or whatever? Well, for me personally, my number one was somehow, some way doing better with delves. I don't know what it would be, whether it be a gameplay overhaul or improvement. Now, that's one of my things off the list is getting improved. We're getting labyrinths and beyond that, which is down the future. So I'm happy with that so far. But secondly, I desperately wanted a Profession overhaul.
Okay.
I think Professions is well on its way to being a really intricate system that provides a lot of depth for the game. Because remember, guys, what makes a great MMO isn't just combat and fucking go out and kill shit, wars. No. The best MMORPGs of all time give you a strong sense of community, personal growth, and feeling attached to your character. So what are some things that give you that? You have housing. You have great guild interactions, with now it being cross-faction. You have solid profession system and things beyond just raiding, or now in the modern day World of Warcraft, Mythic Plus, etc. So that's what makes a good MMO. Let me ask you guys, what makes an amazing MMORPG? What are some of your favorite things that make a solid MMORPG? Can you guys let me know? I want to hear some of your thoughts right now. So thinking of Star Wars Galaxies, EverQuest, what made you fall in love? The people. The people is a great one, Jake. And by the way, I love that profile photo. That's badass. The people's a good one. By the way, the first thing that comes to my mind, and yours when we talked about it, what's the number one quality of the best MMORPG you can make is community. Right or wrong?
Yeah, that was
the first one.
That's always going to be number one. And when you're talking about MMORPG, and you know, a lot of people love WoW for combat, or for the raiding, or for Mythic Plus. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, you stay because of your guild at the time. Right? Like, you stay, like, when your favorite times of loving World of Warcraft are probably the times where you had the most fun playing with whoever you were playing with at the time. Mm-hmm. Whether that's a guild or a group of friends or whatever, you know, have you. But
yeah.
That is for a lot of people. Now, what T-Potion says, the world for me. I'm kind of, community's huge for me, but I'm big on diving into the world. I want to know the why of things. I want to understand what's going on. I want to know what's happening.
T-Potion, the world for me. No world/lore hits, the same as WoW for me, yeah. Classes were good and stable in Wrath of the Lich King. Why we need hero talent tree, hero crap shit. They modify, they often, I don't know what, I think you're against
they
hero talent
modify
trees.
too often.
You have to retype that, Nemesis. Nemus. By the way, I always know you're in the show. Shout out to you, Nemus, for coming back. I retyped that. I want to hear what you have to say. Thicky Rope. That's fucking insane.
I want to be able to transmog my Delve companion. That's pretty cool.
That would be sick. Yo, that would be sick. By the way, you don't have to donate $5 if you want your comment to be like 100% guaranteed read out.
Even 99 cents will get you enough.
99 cents. I'm not trying to sound greedy. We got 200 people in here. And before we get into our major segments, I got to dive into some of this stuff because it's been a very, very big discussion the last week. Let's go into some of your responses about what makes an MMO the best it could possibly be. What's the first thing you think of? Let's go through it. Let's see. Gearing and player power progression is what I like personally. Not bad. You put the time in, you should be rewarded for something like that. Sir Dude, shout out to you. A huge open world.
Thank you, buddy.
Character and an account progression outside the classic gear treadmill is vital. Like, for example, things like achievements, mounts, other than meaningful progression over time is important, I would say. I agree. And reasons to go out in the open world. True. So, all these things that you guys are stating, right? All these things that you guys are stating, does it not seem like Blizzard is heading in a direction in the future, and this goes for you, Lance, I want you to respond.
Okay.
Does it not seem that they're heading into this direction in the future of trying to feed us what we miss about older MMORPGs? What made us fall in love with MMOs in the first place? Things like community with housing. You have a guild neighborhood of over, 50 people in just one area? In your guild neighborhood, over 50. That's a great thing for guild. You can host events and everything like that. Not only that, you're talking about open world and the world feeling full. Every single patch update, they have open world events dedicated to that said world. Right or wrong?
Yeah, but I would say they're not trying to cater to old school way of thinking at all. I would say it's more so they're trying to bring community back and to do all of these things in a modern way. And I think you have to kind of meet, and they, believe me, they have way more data than we do on any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But you have to kind of meet the players where they're at. And they've even said this in a lot of their new things, where it's like, you have to you have to make the game more modern and more a little bit more convenient. That's why we have delves.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to just have a community in the sense of combat, right? Like, that's really what housing and neighborhood do. And when it comes to account-wide progression, that's just taking a book out of like a Final Fantasy Guild Wars situation, right? Where it's like, you know, in Final Fantasy, you have one character and you could do everything on that one character, every class.
Yeah.
Warbands is kind of like that, where you're progressing your account, not so just much a character.
Yeah. Really quick, Keeper's Grove, what do you mean by a forum on your Discord?
Like, just for questions?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting, actually.
That's actually a good idea.
WoW will be great again. Go scroll
Where
up.
was it?
Scroll up. Yeah, WoW will be great again in the moment that they stop adding things to modify classes and spec in each expansion. Also, the rewards for raid should count more than Mythic Plus.
I agree.
I mean, so, no, they need to change classes. You can't keep classes the same.
I think it's very obvious. Classes always need to be in a constant state of motion and change, or else things get stale. I'm bored of a class after a few months. Like, I'm ready for something new and exciting. I'm ready for my next tier set bonus. I'm ready for my next spec that's going to become meta, or the build change up, or maybe a talent tweak. Classes, whether you like it or not, always have to change. Whether for the good or bad. That's just how the game works. That's how you keep people interested, as you bring them back. Grimblade, thank you so much for the gifted 1 sub. By the way, shout out to you guys. Yo, really quick, guys. We've had a ton of subs tonight. I think we've had 7 and a couple donations. Let's get some comeback kid icons in the chat for you guys. If you guys are in here, if you're a member on YouTube, get some comeback kid icons out as well. If you're on Twitch, they're absolutely free. I think they are. Anyways, get some comeback kid icons in the chat. Thank you guys so much for all the donations and love. Really, all jokes aside, it does mean a lot, and it does support us. Thank you. Let's continue. Good quests that don't make me want to slap the shit out of whoever designed them, and good open world events. I do agree the open world events could be better in WoW.
Yes.
It needs more variety. Game feels like a lobby these days. Not a fan of gear score or algorithm generated gear. I don't know what you mean by algorithm generated gear. What does he mean by that? I'm not sure. Down to 2 stats and 3 enhancements. I'm not sure what you mean.
Biggest thing I dislike are these story quests. So you dislike the story quest a lot?
I love the story quest. Forum page on your Discord for discussion questions video. Yeah, that's fucking smart. Yeah, we need to do that. I'm going to write that on my list actually right now.
I choose my class for the season based solely on the raid transmog. That's kind of fair, actually. Blizzard doesn't make changes willy-nilly. They make changes based on feedback from people quitting the game. They don't always make the best changes, but they're made for a reason. He basically said he doesn't like anything the game has ever been. Yeah.
Sinarius, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you with the prime.
Thank you, buddy.
Wow, thank you. By the way, guys, one more time, if you have any primes, if just free, it's free primes, you can throw them out on the Twitch. We're doing awesome. Thank you, guys. We're almost hitting our goal for the stream already, which is insane. We just started, so thank you. Let's get into one comment from Low Can't Fail. One nice thing, while we're talking on progression, is things that change over time. Case in point is Final Fantasy XIV being used as an example. Reputation grinds, where the world changes for you based on it, is a big thing. I'd love to see where the player can see the results of their actions changing the world, leaving an impact. It forges a connection to the world. Lance, you want to take this one or me?
That would actually be very good. I'd be interested to see how they would implement. Well, I guess they have like phasing technology. It would just. How would you work that? Because if my actions, I've done this, you haven't. It'd have to be phased.
This is gonna sound crazy, but in Ashes of Creation, they're doing this thing currently where, yeah, it's phased. So the second that happens and you do it, you're in that zone in that said phase. So it is a little bit of a problem in a way, but I love the concept of world changing as you progress through XYZ. I think it makes it feel like an actual reactive world and MMO, and I love that. But there of course could be problems with that, said design. Of course, absolutely. The Suramar questline, the main base, yeah.
That's
Frosty,
true.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Good point. Good poll. Good memory poll.
Yeah.
There, actually, you're right. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I would like to see the world change with what I do. It would make me feel like the shit I did mattered, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I could agree with that, and I feel like that's a good way to get people to maybe care about the story a little bit more and kind of force it on them to care about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could agree with that.
Well, no, yeah, you literally have to force them to understand what's going on in the story. It's very simple.
They don't do a good enough job at that.
Not at all. Not at all. It's sad right now that the story in retail World of Warcraft, even though I think it's on its way to being really good, I personally, this is a super hot take, I enjoy what's going on in the story right now. I like the characters, I love Xalatath, and I love the whole situation going on with, Illyria and everything, but continuing and going off of that, they need to do substantially better in terms of forcing people to understand what's going on with the story, whether it's hand-feeding them through cinematics or changing the world manually.
They need to take their story more serious themselves.
Did we hit 2,000 followers?
Not sure.
Oh, we're 7 followers away on Twitch from hitting 2,000.
That's crazy.
If you guys want to go show some love on Twitch, get it out there. Solheim, what's going on, baby? How we doing? Yo, guys, shout out to Solheim. He's in the chat. One of the most awesome creators out there for WoW in general. That's my boy right there. Show some love to Solheim.
Big loves for the soul.
Midnight Lore is looking to be 10 times better than the War Within.
I haven't really done anything in Midnight.
No spoilers,
I'm not spoiling anything for myself. But what Blizzard needs to do, and I hope they do this in Midnight Solheim, is they need to take their story more serious themselves.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, don't try to hide it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy forces the story down your throat. Right? And I know
you too, Nethy.
Listen, I'm not going to compare their storytelling to Final Fantasies because they tell a great story. They tell a great story. They've been doing it for 30, 40 years. Final Fantasy's been going on.
Really? And they follow through the MMO with that story?
No, but I mean, they've been telling stories, that company, for a long time. WoW needs to take its story more seriously and force it down people's throats.
I love that. Like, own up and be like, yo, be confident in your shit. Like, be confident in your story. Put it at the forefront and say, I'm here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do. And by the way, guys, we just hit 2,000 followers on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to all of you.
Big huges, guys.
I love you guys so much. For real, man. Like, a really quick side note, you guys have no idea how awesome it is to be able to do this show with the community. Like, me and Lance love doing this every single week. You guys have no idea. Remember, Wednesday, Saturday nights, we're here. And one last thing, if you guys are online in the guild right now, message the guild, let them know we are online. Please say, hey, the Comeback City is live, Sky and Lance are live. We have hundreds of people that just joined the guild. Help get them to the stream. Please, guys, help us out. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Solheim, you're right. And that's what I mean when I say they try to hide.
Always count on you, man.
They hide their story.
I love that. Wow, what a good take.
In books and in novels and outside of the game. Or even very recently, they did this YouTube video.
Thank you, JK.
About Umbric and Ramath. And it's like, it was a cool story.
Yeah.
No one's going to want, 90% of the player base will never listen to that. Yeah. I loved it. It was awesome.
What do you think about them integrating things like that? Almost like... Hear me out. This may be kind of crazy. What do you guys think of the idea of having like a tab in-game where it's almost like an audio book in a way? Like, in a way. I'm not saying full-blown audiobooks. X-Suppress, thank you for the sub. Is that a prime? It is a prime. Thank you so much. What do you guys think about them having a tab where there's mini sort of breakdowns on the story of maybe said dungeon, maybe said raid, expansions, or anything you could just chill, listen to, or just get a breakdown or a cinematics in order? Now, we do know, Lance, recently they've been doing, they just added this new thing, lore walking. I'm sure all of you know what it's about.
Good pull.
But then also... the big one is the War Within recap, the story recap they just added. Is a humongous thing to get you to understand top to bottom what happened this expansion, to know what's going on leading into midnight. It's a very big deal. So what if they have things like that, on a whim, faster?
That would be, and that's a tall order, right?
It is.
And they can go and start doing lore walkings and story recaps for every expansion. As a matter of fact, they did one for Dragonflight as well, the new player experience. When you start now, there's an accelerated Dragonflight it takes you through.
Interesting.
And it goes through all of the raids, and you fight these raid bosses in story mode in Dragonflight. For those of you who don't know, it's actually very cool. But yeah, I think they should do that. And then Solheim once again brings up an awesome point. Imagine if the novels were available as audiobooks in-game you could listen to on the radio in your player house. That would be dope. That would actually be dope.
Or even this is going to sound horrible, but there are mobile games out there. Fucking mobile games that have almost what are they called? They're like journals. It's like a directory that shows you every character, location and the story and everything beyond them and what's going on with them. We played a freaking gacha game on stream, and it was a pretty cool experience, whatever.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, we played Ragnarok Online on stream. And even in Ragnarok Online, a mobile-like game, they have a journal where they explain every character and every situation and the zones and the story behind them. We don't really have that. Like, it's like we have the adventure journal, sure, but it's such minor, like, half-ass bullshit. Like, it's not modernized. It's like Cataclysm.
Well, they just need to...
Doesn't Diablo have that? I don't know. Playing Diablo 4, I don't remember them having something like that. By the way, thank you guys for single-handedly keeping my hype for Midnight going. Love the videos, and your videos are carrying the hype big time. I'm gonna blast some Midnight content after the TBC hype fades. Let's go, dude. Yo, we're here. By the way, I think you play EU, but if you ever play NA, you have a spot in our guild no matter what.
Love you, buddy.
Are you hearing Down by the River? I don't know. I can't tell. What game is this from, guys?
I'm
this
in
music.
a van down by the river.
Nope. Not that one.
That's what he means.
Does anyone know what game this is from? That's kind of weird. I don't know. Weird. I don't know.
No.
Final Fantasy 14 doesn't have a competitive dungeon scene, though. Final Fantasy does 14. The best thing about them is their story, bar none. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Absolutely not even close. I don't even know what we're discussing here.
Yeah.
When it comes to raw content, personally, and gameplay, I never liked it. I could never sink my teeth into it. Always get through it. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Are you guys on Twisting Nether?
T-Potion, you're no joke, bro.
Yeah, T-Potion knows his shit. Yo, T-Potion, I think this is my first time seeing you, because I would have remember that profile. You got to come back to shows. You're awesome to have. Are you guys on Twisting Nether? If you're talking in terms of realm, it does not matter.
As long as you're NA, you're good.
Yeah, as long as you're in the Americas region, you're good to join the guild. It's cross-faction, cross-realm. So for content creators, it's amazing for guild approach. It's amazing. That's why our guild is almost full. We have hundreds of applicants. So make sure you're in there, guys. That's crazy. Savage is the best game.
That's Final Fantasy.
Okay, so W the artist, by the way, is this April Fool's joke? That's crazy. Imagine. Yo, I was thinking about doing an April Fool's joke. By the way, a little bit off topic. Making a video, and let me know what you guys think about this, retail players. Making a video on April Fool's, on April 1st, I release it, and the title of the video is A Retail Players Once for Classic Plus.
Yeah.
And then I start ripping off shit that is just horrible.
Yes.
That will only get them upset.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be evil about it, but just a joke. Like, I want a flying mounts. I want sky riding.
Yes.
I want transmog.
100%.
I want a purchasable
Just
WoW token.
All the things that you know will piss them
The
off.
worst shit you can possibly think of
By
in
the
World
way,
of Warcraft.
they won't even watch to the end to know it's April Fool's, and you'll get blasted.
Delves?
Yeah, dude, you'll get blasted.
whole thing.
But also, it will probably get so many views.
Dude, it would be really funny. I know some creators that would watch it that would be so mad.
Yes, and they would think it's
I want
real.
Vulpira. What's wrong with Vulpira?
No, because you can't do stuff like that, because then
Not
they
too
would
obvious?
catch on. Yeah, they
What are some?
would
What do you
catch on.
guys think are some passable features that might make it to Classic Plus from a retail player's
flying.
perspective? Breaking news! Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't want to frame it as April Fool's.
No, you gotta drop it like the day before.
The day before?
Yeah, like an early.
You're crazy.
Like one day
That's
before.
just not April Fool's though.
Yeah, who cares?
So now you just wanting to rage bait.
Yeah.
So it's not April Fool's.
But
anymore.
then you could just say
housing. Yeah, but is housing? That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess that's a good one to have. Housing. Yeah.
don't think-
But why would they get mad at
I
housing?
don't think you actually. That would allow them.
To bring retail players in.
That would give them a lot of gameplay.
Honest question. In both of your opinions, do you think we get new specs first or new classes? I'll tell you one thing right now. Hold on. Let me get into it, Lance. Hold on. There was that player survey recently that pitched the idea of new classes or new specs coming into World of Warcraft. For example, a DPS pre-spec, a support paladin spec, a support warrior spec,
Healer hunter.
a healer hunter, which is horrible, a healer mage, a warlock tank. In my personal opinion, this is a hot take, very way too early prediction. I think the Last Titan will be adding multiple, anywhere between 3 to 5 brand new specs to the game as one of its box features, brand new. Whether it's everyone's getting like an augmentation like spec, like 3 or 4 of them, like we're getting more of that, or we're just getting more variety in terms of more healers, more DPS, tank, and we have a list that we've been through on stream, and I'll show you guys really quickly. What do you think, Lance?
I think they'll probably go the spec route because I think it's just easier for them to do than to conceptualize whole classes and make them, and then you have to make new tier sets and everything like that. It just adds also extra armor and assets you have to make every single tier. So I think they'll go the spec route.
Yeah. Hold on, let me show you guys full screen what we're talking about here. Let me show you really quick. Here it is.
I'm not saying Hunter Healer is good, buddy.
So after the survey, guys, the Hunter Healer is fucking awful. I voted against that every single time, but they had a survey for you to vote on what you'd be more interested in, breaking down what the lore of it might be, the gameplay style of it might be. So, for example, they had a demonology-like warlock tank where you would summon demons from the twisting nether, and you would drain their life force to enhance your physical capabilities to make you more durable, gain more threat, and deal damage. What the fuck is that? I don't even know. So, for example, you have a blood mage like healer. That was one of the ideas. A healer blood mage. A paladin inquisitor support buff like spec, where you buff their armor, you buff their weapons and damage capabilities. A holy DPS range caster priest, which I think is awesome.
That's more for me.
I don't think druid would get a spec. They're already at 4.
Druid doesn't need
They hit the limit. For example, a death knight, like a range DPS lich, necromancer similar to Diablo. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about these ideas, because this was some of the stuff they were putting out, but then some of it we mixed in there with our own stream, hype and
Nems, what are you talking about, man? Are you just making things up in your mind, or what's going on, buddy?
It's crazy. So also a monk ranged DPS spec where it's all about, throwing out chi burst, wind magic and jade lightning and stuff like that. A warlock tank, once again, like we mentioned, draining souls to be more durable. Big sucky sucks off the life steal. Big effing sucks. And then Hunter, this was probably the coolest one that, we came up with. Listen to this one, guys. A Hunter tank spec where you're a beast rider. So you ride on top of your beast as a tank, and you have like a polearm or a two-handed weapon, and you fight on your mount, almost like a mount, like a tank, like a pet, and you generate threat that way. Tell me that wouldn't be fucking insane.
That would be sick, yeah.
Yo, that would be a sick pet. Like, you ride on your pet,
yes,
and you're generating threat, you're fighting in melee, maybe you shoot at range too.
Wasn't there a class
that would be, Beast Rider would be sick.
In Warhammer that was like that? I think there was.
G-Money, what's going on, baby? DK healer that uses blood magic like blood DK, but to heal others. That's an option too. The blood thing has to come to WoW eventually, right?
That's true. You could do that for DK.
Oh, what's her name from League? The girl and the bear.
Sejuani.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but then you have to give him frost powers, which that's
but just not
happening.
frost powers.
Tinker, by the way.
I love that. By the way, let's all vote right now. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because in the last Titan, I think we're getting one or the other, whether it be a new spec or a class. Would you guys like for there to be either a Tinker spec or maybe a Bard spec come to World of Warcraft? Is that something you guys think you would like to see?
I like them. I like them both, by the way.
Yeah.
I like them both in their own right, but we have Tinkers in the game already.
What do you mean?
There's precedent for Tinkers being in the lore.
I mean, think about it like this.
Like gnomes and goblins are Tinkers.
Yeah. What about this, Lance? We're going back to Northrend. There's a lot of old Titan-like powers there. Could a Tinker potentially mess with something like that? And could it be on par and on theme to add a Tinker
by the
class?
way, going to Titan facilities and having Tinkers, it could make sense.
It's a little
but
loud.
Man,
Baldur's Gate, slow down.
I like Bards. I just like the concept of Bard more. I like them both, but
Bard's
I do like Bard more. You know me. I'm a Bard guy.
Yeah, Bards are cool.
Right?
Going over some of these last specs, and then going through your part. Wow, a lot of people like Bards. Wow, holy shit. A lot of people are liking Bard. I vote Bard, Tinker, before Bard, Tinker tank spec, he drives one of the mechs.
100%.
Oh, that's cool.
100% that would happen.
I'm not gonna lie.
That would be sick.
Like the dungeon, Mechagon, like the first bosses, the guy, he's in the big suit. You ride like a little suit. I mean, it's not overly big, maybe a little bit bigger than a Tauren. But you're in like a suit and you're a gnome or a goblin. That's it. That's the races for a Tinker. You cannot be, or maybe a dwarf. There could be an argument for a dwarf. Fuck, and a Draenei. Fuck.
No, you'd
Okay,
have
there's
to
a
just
lot.
keep it. You'd
Okay.
have to just keep it gnome and
You think
goblin.
so? Because
Yeah, and
dwarves
Mecha
are
Gnome
good
can
with their
have it
hands too.
No, it would just...
Draenei as well. They build
Yeah.
ships.
I know, but okay. They're artificers. Okay, they're not tinkers.
All right, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Okay,
Let's
maybe you're right.
fucking relax.
Undead tinker.
Shut your mouth.
Volpira tinker.
No. Right? Listen to what I'm saying. Goblin, gnome. That's it. Because then you could lean into that weird.
All right, the last one I'm gonna pitch. Murloc tinker.
That's fire. Let's do it. Wrap it
Send
up.
it. Undead Pally. Fuck off. Anyways, let's go over these last couple ones really quick. That was some of the ideas on their little pitch deck there. So, and survey. The last couple ones was Shaman and Earthwarder tank. Listen, the Shaman having a tank spec, that is an underhand pitch. I think if there's ever going to be a new spec, like added to the original classes, I think it would be a Shaman tank.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, we also have a Gladiator Warrior spec where you're a shout-based support warrior spec. So you shout, you buff your allies, you raise morale, you debuff enemies a little bit, and you wear a shield and maybe a spear. And you're like Gladiator, like buffing, whatever. Kind of like a captain from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, maybe I like the name General better than Gladiator.
General, I love that.
I like that much better.
Wow.
T-Potion once
Yeah,
again
fuck
coming in
me.
clutch.
General. Wow, that's so fire. Commander or Commander's
I like
good too.
General
They're
better.
both good. They're both good. I like your guys' thoughts better.
Might as go Amazon for Warrior.
Amazon? Is that the same concept? Yeah, but Amazon, you involve things that are like non-physical, right? Amazonians in Diablo they had powers. They weren't just, warrior. Warrior is just a warrior. Their strength, their courage, their bravery, their
But
brute
Amazon
force.
is also female only.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I guess you're right. I'm a dumbass. Anyways, and then the last one was like a rogue, was like a Vial Master. Yeah, like you said, of course, T-Potion. The Apothecary. So it's all about potions. You buff, support, whatever through that as well. So a lot of different little concepts here in terms of classes that could potentially be made. So the question I have for you all in the stream right now, because this was a real, I'm not joking, this was a genuine survey out like 2 weeks ago on the front page of the Blizzard Battle.net thing. The question is, would you like to see more specs added to World of Warcraft like this in retail? Or would you like to see a whole new class like Bard or Tinker? What are you guys thinking?
I think for long-term health of the game, having more, and I'm not saying this is going to automatically make more Tinker or more tanks and healers come to the game, but injecting the game with more tanks and healer specs gives you better odds of getting more people to play those roles.
Yeah, no, sure. I think you're right. The thing is, though, is when it comes to tanking and healing, the problem isn't the lack of intrigue and interest in tank specs or healer specs. I think the major problem with tanking or healing is the fact that DPS players are generally kind of assholes. Not only that, you have to do a lot of homework to master routes and dungeons and pulls and times and everything like that. No one wants to do any of that work. So it's a giant headache and a big responsibility that no one wants.
But that's something that Blizzard also needs to work on then.
Sounds good. I mean, they're working on the keys 2 through 5 with the route
designer. Good, and that's good. And they need to continue to work on things like that to make it so that getting into these roles is easier and more friendly.
I agree.
But then you also need to make more specs that people want to play. And by the way, adding new ones, bro,
100%.
If you added
100%.
like a support, 100%. If you added the general warrior, I would want to play a general warrior.
I mean, look at it like this: if each class in the game, other than Demon Hunter and Druid, because Druid has 4 specs, they're not getting another.
They don't need another one.
Demon Hunter just got a spec, they're not getting another one.
They don't.
Let's just be real.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, if there were to be other specs added to this said list, and let's just say this is just throwing and spitballing. We're going to put on our classic Andy tinfoil hat fucking theories right here, right? Where I can pitch about the future for 3 hours. If we went that route, it would be 3 more supports added to the game, 4 more tanks, 3 more DPS, but only 1 additional healer.
Only 1 additional
Only
healer?
1 additional healer.
We don't need 4 more tanks. We need at least 1 more healer.
I feel like tanking is the hardest to find, no? What's harder to find, do you guys think? Healing or tanking? for like Mythic Plus and Pugs? I don't know. That's kind of a tough question. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like tanks is fucking hard, man.
I mean, they're both hard to find.
They're both hard. Yeah, Nemus, you're kind of right. Healers, tanks, healers. Getting a lot of mixed fucking answers here, guys. Tanks, we need tanks. It's been 10 years. Yo, Arthur, you're 100% right. We put out a video on that.
Yeah, but you could easily take like one tank off, add a healer.
Sure, but where? Let's see. Let's talk about it, right? Shaman, not changing. It's not going to happen, right? Warlock tank, it would be based on Metamorphosis, Draining Souls, Sucky Sucky, Yum Yum. Evoker, they already have a healer spec. It's not going to happen. So, the last one will be Hunter. You're not going to make them a healer.
Blizzard has an idea for
Warlock,
it,
a Warlock healer, then?
No.
Where you have pets heal with you?
No.
Okay. So, what are we going to do? If there's going to be another healer, where are we going to go? Juan Epstein with the $2. We have problems finding tanks and healers. You're right, buddy.
Bard would be a healer, support, DPS.
Bard would be, it'd be support, healer, and DPS, yeah. It would fill three honestly, really good roles.
Well, maybe the Death Knight does not get a ranged DPS and they get a blood healer.
Maybe? I mean, do they need... Yeah, we got to think about it like this. Does Death Knight need a third DPS spec?
No.
I don't think so either.
They don't.
I don't think so.
They don't need a third DPS.
So what do you guys think of the idea of a blood, almost like Death Knight healer that drains from enemies, like almost like a... kind of like a priest dealing damage, but to heal, but almost like draining from enemies to heal. A Hemomancer. Is that how you pronounce that?
I actually like the name, by the way.
I think it's cool. I think there's an idea. One more spec for priests, like Astrologian or Scholar. A hybrid DPS spec, support, and light heals. That's just a support spec for Spreak. You can't give a priest another support spec or healer.
They already have two. They need another
They need a DPS spec. They need a DPS spec.
By the way, the monk range could be a support DPS.
Mage healer? Yeah, we have mage as a healer. It's the only healer left.
And they're blood mage. So you can't make Death Knight a blood mage.
The only route you can go with mage then is a time healer, like Season of Discovery. Which, by the way, I like the gameplay design. The problem is it's exactly like Preservation in a way. Like, Preservation works a lot based off time magic. So that's a problem. That's tough. But I do agree. I think there needs to be one more healer. I don't know. Cleric Priest? Yeah, fire. Sign me up. Holy Paladin. Check that class out. I think you'd like it, Frosty. Monk range could be a support DPS spec. Yeah, you could go that route with the monk. They don't need to be ranged DPS.
You'd have to figure out a way to get Hunter the healer.
Ooh, you're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. I would drop dead and sell the channel before I let Hunters get a healer. You're out of your mind.
Man,
you're out of your mind.
I don't know, man. I mean, you'd have to figure I feel like only adding one healer is just not good enough.
Fran was kind of a hunter healer, yeah, and it was awful. It was cringe, and it never looked cool.
Monk that throws brews that heals allies.
Yeah, but they already have Mistweaver. We don't need to mess with that, Casey. Or not Casey, Jesus Christ, Potion. Casey? Is that the Casey? There's a reason most hunters play hunter. True. Yo, had a concept for this. Reverse discipline priest. You throw your debuff on targets, and your damage to those debuff targets heal allies.
Interesting.
Sure. I mean, it's just very similar to discipline. I'm just Casey. Are you like...
I'm just a Casey.
I'm just a Casey? No, you're still my Casey. You know what you mean.
I can see hunters get a healer, but they have to have a Saint Bernard, yeah.
Veranda, a support/healer ranger. Yeah, but she has straight up magic. She's not just a hunter.
We're not going to start giving that type of magic
Veranda
to hunters,
straight up had magic. Like, powerful magic. And by the way, she studied in the way of the priest as well. So...
Yeah, well, she's a priestess of Elune. That's
okay.
She is a priestess of Elune.
That's why you need Bard?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in this way, there's no room there. In that list, you would have to add another healer. It would have to be another class. So when they inevitably add that Spellbreaker, and they give him a healer and tank.
Whoa, hold on a second. Yo, what do you guys think about Spellbreaker coming? By the way, Spellbreaker could have been a great opportunity for them to add this expansion. It could have been so perfect.
With the Defense of the Sunwell coming up.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
It seems like that would have been
the
obvious,
the perfect opportunity on theme to add a new class with Spellbreaker. 100%. You give them a tank, you give them a healer, and you give them a melee DPS.
What was it? Warcraft 3?
Spellbreaker's just prop paladin.
In Warcraft, no, because Spellbreakers use like arcane magic.
They do. He's just mean. Battle Mage spec, melee spellcaster. Yeah, exactly. That was the idea. I think a cool class would be whatever Cordana Fell song is.
A warden?
A warden?
Hard to do because it's like,
I don't even know.
When rogues and demon hunters are in the game already, it's just like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Anyways, I do want to get into some of the news really, really quick and break down some of this stuff. And then continue talking with you guys, because there are some people here, believe it or not, who come get the breakdown of the news. Really quick, new achievement points at cross-promotional game rewards for Midnight Intro campaign. So doing the Midnight Introduction campaign will give you cross-promotional rewards for other Blizzard games. For example, so you finish the Echoes of Midnight, was the introduction quest line. You could see here that this is Overwatch. That's, what's her name? Symmetra?
Yeah, that's a Tyrande skin, or is that a Xalatath skin?
I think
for
that's
Symmetra?
Xalatath. That is definitely Xalatath. And then Hearthstone rewards. This looks like Warcraft or Starcraft. And then these look like portraits for things like Overwatch and stuff as well.
Ooh.
So, pretty cool, I guess.
Starcraft?
Yeah, I guess they're doing some sort of StarCraft cross-promotion, which is
interesting
to say the least.
Wow, they're really trying to get people back into StarCraft before this announcement, huh?
Wonder why. Interesting. And then additionally, Lance, believe it or not, holy shit, the 12.0.5 Midnight Encrypted, listen very carefully though, it's not open, it's not public, we don't know what's going on. The encrypted 0.5 beta test build for the 0.5 patch is now officially internally active for the development servers.
They said at the State of Azeroth that right after the launch of Midnight, they're going to put that up on PTR.
Jesus
like right after.
Fuck. I don't have time. I don't have time to do it. How am I going to make videos? What am I going to do?
Get your ass ready to prop hunt, boy. Get your ass in that prop hunt.
Oh my God.
By the way, prop hunt based, right? Who's prop hunting?
That's kind of cool.
Hey, who's gonna prop hunt with me?
Listen, one thing I'm never gonna hate on Blizzard for doing is adding mini games for people that there is an audience for. I'm sorry, there is absolutely
is the audience people who want to do fun community things.
I mean, I'm not gonna get mad at them for that.
Yeah, bro.
Sitting here
Let's fucking do it.
calling it corny or lame, or bro, it's really we're gonna call that shit lame when fucking 10 million people play Call of Duty and they'd be playing prop hunt? Like, come on, dude. Anyways, let's continue. So, yes, we see it. The patch sniffer. Shout out to the little Twitter post on that.
Actually, pull up the roadmap. Do you know what keeps getting, at least for me, I glossed over it.
Okay.
In 12.1, new dungeon, new delves.
Why is that? Why are you freaking out?
I just glossed over it. Like, I didn't even realize, we're going to get new dungeons. So not only are we getting extra raids, we're still going to be getting new dungeons in every point, point 1 and point 2 patch.
Not for sure. I mean, similar to what they did with, oh my God.
Floodgate.
Yeah, Operation Floodgate, as well as the new delves. It's cool. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. The Mythic Plus Season 1 pool is S tier. For Midnight. It is S tier, phenomenal. It is so much fun, and I don't even like Mythic Plus, but they killed that shit. Not only that, their track record with dungeon design as of late is really, really good. Like, the last few dungeons, like Ecodome Aldani,